Number 4 ways to thrive in challenging times is don't stop learning. Now, sometimes, I know we can all agree with this, but we don't always do it because we are busy. And learning takes time, right? We have to carve out whatever during the business day to watch that video or listen to that podcast or take that course. And but it's important. It's how we can continue to thrive and how we can continue to grow. Successful people learn continuously, and we've all heard the statistics about CEOs and how many books a year they read, and there's a reason for that, because they have to stay ahead of the curve or get left behind. Your competition is very likely learning and growing, and if you don't, you're going to get left behind too. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should never stop learning, because I'm all about the lists. So number 1, you don't know what you don't know. So you can't really say that you don't need to be learning because you don't know what you don't know. It's literally impossible to be an expert in everything. Some people think they are, but no, it's literally impossible to be an expert at everything. So it's important that you get exposed to something new on a regular basis, and you just never know what little nugget, what little something that will be a game changer for your business. It can come from unexpected places, but if you're in the mindset of always continuing to learn, that's when, those moments of epiphany can happen. Okay, the second reason to never stop learning. You need to stay competitive and relevant. The marketplace is always changing. Now, it's changed a lot over the last year, but it's always changed. It's not what it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Every year has been different. And so we have to be in a state of keeping pace with that. And that means we always have to be learning what's going on in our industry, what's going on in the marketplace. So you need to stay ahead of that curve always, always. If you don't evolve, if you don't stay current, your competition you're going to give them a differential to get ahead of you. So it's important that you do that. And of course, on the other side of that coin is that if you're the one who's staying ahead of the curve and your competition isn't, that positions you to take the lead as well. All right, the third reason you need to never stop learning is you need to accept that change is normal and required. Change is constant in business, which we've been talking about. And what you intend at one time often turns into something else. So, I think about when I started Vertical Solutions Media, which we're celebrating our 13th anniversary next week. So we'll be celebrating that. But we didn't start as a marketing agency. We actually started as a sales company. We magazines, newspapers, chamber books, souvenir guides would hire us to sell advertising in their publication. That didn't last very long because we started in June of 2008, and soon after the economy just went into a tailspin. And as you remember, the real estate all crashed, and it was just a really rough time. And so the opportunities for selling advertising in print publications, it was just really hard. So we had to pivot. We had to change what we were doing in order to stay relevant. And I recognized at the time that a lot of companies, were cutting their budgets. They were trying to save money where they could, and so there was a lot of them that may have been using higher priced marketing agencies in the past, but now we're looking for a lower cost alternative. And we were able to step in and provide that because we were smaller and more nimble, and we had lower overhead, and so we were able to So we ended up growing Vertical Solutions Media out of what would have been a bad situation. So, so you just know change is normal. And, if you're learning and always in that mindset of learning, then you'll be able to identify when things start to shift and happen, and know better how to position your company for those, just like we did way back when. Okay, the fourth reason why you should never stop learning is learning will position you as a thought leader. It keeps you ahead of your customers. Your customers know, they're very educated. Anybody with a phone basically can do research standing in the middle of the store. And they do. And so, or they're at home, shopping online, but they're doing their research and comparing prices and educating themselves on the product. And so you need to know at least more than your customers know, or they'll be schooling you. It also better positions you as an expert in your industry, and being seen as an expert will boost your credibility. And depending on what kind of business that you run, that can be pretty much critical for some businesses. And the last reason why you should never stop learning is no one is perfect, and we all could use development in skill sets and knowledge base, and being able to identify our weaknesses and then working on them, and that can be a great component to our success as well. It just makes us stronger as business owners. And I heard someone say one time that the weakest link of your business is you, because you're the leader. So the stronger you become, the more you know, the more confident you are about what you know, the more credibility that you give your company by being a thought leader and an expert in your industry. That strengthens your company as a whole. So, and it does something else. If you, as the business owner, have a mindset of learning, and that's just part of who you are, and that's what you talk about, and make book recommendations or encourage your team to take classes to help bolster their skill sets as well. You're basically establishing a culture of learning within your company, and that just makes your company as a whole stronger. Okay, so those are the 5 reasons to never stop learning, and that is our 4th way to thrive in challenging times. So think about, I came up with a list of things. Of course, they're related to us, and I just wanted to share them to you, the ways that you can learn. So we have a podcast. It's called Time to Thrive. It's available on iTunes and, Spotify, all the places. So go look for Time to Thrive podcast. We have a blog at verticalsolutionsmedia.com/blog, and we're posting pretty regularly there. Another thing you can do is go to timetothrivemembership.com and download the free business success plan. And that's going to basically give you the framework for that planning that we talked about last week. You can register if you need a little bit more, want a little bit more hand-holding, a little more help with that. You can register for Time to Thrive Coaching Week, and that gets you access to a series of video tutorials on that business success plan. And they have downloadable worksheets with a lot of fill in the blank. It's about as easy as it's going to get for you to establish a business plan. And then the 3rd week of the month, you would be invited to the mastermind group, where we do live one-on-ones, group coaching. So if you have any questions or things, I can help support you through that. And of course, we have the Time to Thrive membership, which is our monthly membership. And that actually unlocks a lot more in terms of marketing training. And it also gives you access to Coaching Week, of course. And then we have a special mastermind group for that as well. So for like a really low monthly fee, you would get a lot of marketing support for your business. Of course, we'd love for you to connect with us. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, Vertical Solutions Media, and we're doing lives every Friday right here. So if you're watching this and you'd love to do, interact with us when we do these, it's every Friday at noon here on Facebook. So thank you everyone for joining us this Friday. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to talking to you next week again.